Hey everyone, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please be sure to follow and leave a 5-star rating. Folks, it's great to be back. I was on vacation over the past week, as many of you know. The family and we went up to the state of Maine. Very beautiful up there. We visited the cities of Portland, Algonquin, and Bar Harbor. Lots of coastal cities, of course, and great seafood, great lobster. I think I ate the most lobster I've ever eaten in my life consecutively, but it was really great, and it's good to be back. And we got lots of big news to cover. Let's kick it off. All right, first up, Paul Tudor Jones, the legendary billionaire investor. His investment firm has increased their stake in the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF after a year of selling. This is a very significant sign. We've been tracking Paul Tudor Jones for years, going back to 2020. Remember, it was in 2020 that he came out and he made this big PR push on CNBC and much more, talking about he's bullish on Bitcoin, he's bullish on gold as well, and he recognized that the governments are going to continue to print money, and Bitcoin was one of those hedges, and of course that paid off very well for him. Well, he usually plays the cycles. Those of us who've been in the market for a long time, we've seen this before. Paul will come out in times of when the price is about to pump. So now we're seeing his investment firm, they're buying the dip essentially. And don't be surprised if you see him on TV in the coming weeks and months where he's talking about being bullish on Bitcoin. This is how the game's played. I've talked a lot about it over the years. These investment firms, these big hedge funds, they'll take their positions and then they'll go out there and talk about their position as the price is rising. But this is where you want to be in the side of smart money, like Paul Tudor Jones, buying the dip when we're near the bottom, because no one can call the exact bottom, but he's taking a position here and clearly he's turning bullish. So let me give you some details. So his firm, Tudor Investment, held 688,529 shares of the iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF, also known as IBIT, valued at $22.9 million as of June 30th, according to a 13F filing on Friday. The share count rose by 109,446, or 18.9%, from 579,083 at the end of March. The holdings are now worth $24.5 million. So the TLDR here, guys, is that Paul Tudor Jones is turning bullish. They're increasing their shares in Bitcoin. Obviously, they're doing it via ETFs. And we've been seeing whale accumulation of crypto assets as well, because, one of the things we've been tracking on the charts is that Bitcoin is nearing a bottom if the bottom's not already in. And we've been highlighting that bullish divergence on the weekly chart, as well as the bearish divergence on the USDT stablecoin dominance. So you're seeing two major signals that are highlighting that we are nearing that bottom, or we're about to have, or the bottom's in and we're about to have this explosive move. And I think the market is setting up for a major move, guys. Now, he's not the only one. We got news here that Swiss mega bank UBS ramps up its Bitcoin exposure with a massive 24-fold surge in ETF call options. So again, a lot of these guys recognizing some sort of bottom is near and a reverse is coming. So banking giant UBS, with over $7 trillion in assets under management, has reported a more than 24-fold quarterly increase in call option exposure tied to BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust in the second quarter. That increase, which gives it the right to acquire IBIT shares at a later date at a set price, came as its outright IBIT holdings rose about 12%, according to a regulatory filing this week. So again, big news, big players buying up, right? And the charts are also confirming this, that some sort of bottom is near, and we could see a reversal soon. So this is very, very bullish, guys. Very big sign, right? You want to watch what the big wealthy investors are doing. Now, moving ahead, Citibank CEO Jane Fraser says she wants the Clarity Act to become law. Here's a quote: "We would like to see a good bill go through." Now, you have a lot of interesting statements coming from these different banks and different folks. Obviously, some of this goes against what Jamie Dimon has been saying. He's saying it's a bad bill. He shouldn't pass. He cursed out Brian Armstrong. And then you have his puppet in the Senate, Elizabeth Warren, going ham, right? Saying the bill is bad, is going to allow for more crypto corruption, all kinds of nonsense. We've covered a lot. But the fact that you have the CEO of Citibank saying we want to get the bill through is a very positive sign. Now, a lot of the investment firms like Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, Fidelity, and those have called for the bill to be passed, right? But Jamie Dimon, the king of the hill, the king of the bankers, is holding up because of the stablecoin yield situation. So we know the vote on the Senate floor is going to take place on September 15th when, the House of Representatives and the Senate are back. And we have a lot of positive things aligning there because you have the cloture filed already. Senator Thune took care of that right before the rest of the folks left for August recess. So let's see if that bill goes through. But this is a big endorsement. Let me play the clip of what she had to say.
You mentioned something that I wanted to pick up on, and that was, we've been talking a lot about the Clarity Act. It has not gotten over the finish line.
Yeah.
And so we know there's a procedural vote coming up, but you've been closely tracking the progress of the Clarity Act, stablecoin legislation. But the banks, fair point, that the rewards have, of course, been the sticking point for the banks. What is your opinion right now of Clarity Act and what you've seen in the text?
Yeah, look, as a bank, we're a leader in digital assets. Many of us are. It's got some fantastic technology, and we want to have good regulation that supports innovation and also encourages a safe adoption of the capabilities of digital assets. We're certainly not giving up on trying to get some more improvements to the Act, because let's look at the U.S. financial system. Smaller banks play a very important role in the rural communities and throughout America. And if you are having a reward system on the deposits, it could have a detrimental impact on their deposits and therefore their ability to provide lending and access to credit in parts of the U.S. that crypto won't reach, and frankly, the large banks don't reach. So I'm worried about it from that perspective. I also want to make sure that you've got fair competition, a level playing field, so the same activity gets the same legislation and regulatory rules. And no one wants to see financial crimes being promoted. Fraud's already been a problem of late in the financial system, and this could promote it even further if you don't have good legislation. So we have not given up on pushing to get some improvements made to the bill, but we would like to see a good bill go through. I think it would be excellent for the system.
Now, obviously, she's still highlighting they want to make some updates. So hopefully, they're ready to come to the table. Because think about it, folks. This bill, if it doesn't pass, the status quo remains in a sense that the Genius Act is law and stablecoin yield is being paid out. So the banks are not going to get anything if the bill doesn't pass, right? It's just going to be as is. And then we saw just last week, the SEC and the CFTC and these agencies said, hey, we're ready to make updates and push legislation forward via the agencies if the Clarity Act doesn't get done now. Now, remember, the Clarity Act is to just give the rubber stamp of approval for what the agencies are doing so that another administration can come back in and undo it, right? It will become law, and that will give the confidence to many of these institutions to start building, and they don't have to worry about lawsuits and, the law being rolled back and all these things. So they definitely want the Clarity Act passed. It's just the banks are being greedy. We've talked about it, right? They want to keep those big bonuses. They don't want to pay people proper interest on their money. They want to keep giving them breadcrumbs, 0.01%, while they pocket the big bonuses at the end of the year. But they already got a compromise, and we'll see what else they get or don't get. It's going to be very interesting come September, guys. So we got about a month to go before the vote and some further negotiation, I should say. So big statements, though, that they want to get this done. Now, speaking of crypto legislation, this coming week on Wednesday, the White House is expected to host an event with crypto officials and prediction market officials. So we got some details. Executives from Coinbase, A16Z, Ripple, Chainlink, plus Kalshi and Paradigm, as well as the Digital Chamber, are amongst those expected to attend Wednesday's meeting at the White House. People familiar with the matter told Eleanor Mueller. President Trump plus CFTC Chair Mike Selig and SEC Chair Paul Atkins are also expected to partake, some of the people said, but it's unclear whether all will. The people described Wednesday as a kickoff of the inaugural meeting of the CFTC's 35-person Innovation Advisory Committee on Thursday, which organizers had initially hoped to host at the White House earlier this summer. So this is great, right? You got the industry continuing to meet with the White House and the Trump administration, as well as members of the regulatory agencies. So hopefully we're able to see some additional progress, and this could also trickle down to the Clarity Act to get things rolling there. So I will give you guys the update as these meetings take place this week and what are some of the takeaways and what some folks are saying. Obviously, the Digital Chamber, we often have Cody Carbone, the CEO, on the podcast. So I'll try to get him on to give a post-mortem on what took place and what we may see happening as we get closer to that September 15 vote on the Clarity Act. Now, folks, this episode is brought to you by iTrustCapital, which allows you to invest in crypto, precious metals, and stocks in an IRA. You may say, why would I want to invest via an IRA? You get huge tax advantages. That's why. So when you sell for a gain, you don't have to pay long-term or short-term capital gains taxes. That's huge, guys, because those capital gains taxes is highway robbery by the government, right? I hate them, trust me. But the platform is great, guys. They've been around for a long time. And again, the tax advantages is a huge sell, and you get access to all the major asset classes. It's low cost. There's no monthly fee. And if you have an existing IRA or 401k, you can roll it over to iTrustCapital's version. Now, another great feature they offer is called a premium custody account. This uses institutional grade crypto custody, such as Coinbase Prime, Fidelity, digital assets, and much more. So you're getting tier 1 custody. You can sleep at night knowing your assets are safe. And I know there's been a lot of hacks recently of self-custody wallets and all these things, right? Well, this gives you, again, that institutional grade crypto custody, and it's insured and all these things. And it's a closed loop system. So if someone hacks into your account, they can't withdraw anything. It's just set up to go to your bank account. So that is a great feature, guys, again, if your account gets compromised, the hacker can't withdraw anything. And you can buy and sell 24/7. You can go in and out. It's low fees. So you got to check out iTrustCapital and these two great products. If you sign up with my link, you can get a $100 funding bonus. Also, I have a great representative there. His name is Ryan. I have his contact information in the description, where you can contact him if you have any questions as you're signing up and going through the process. So you got to check them out. Go to itrustcapital.com/go/thinkingcrypto. Link will be in the description. Okay, moving ahead. Tether has completed its audit, and it was done by one of the big four audit companies, KPMG. Many of you may recognize that name. I had interviewed one of the crypto representatives from KPMG last year. So this is really great. The Tether floodsters, they're going to run out of excuses. And then many of them are in shambles. They don't know what to do now. But I know a lot of them are paid. They go out there just to spread FUD. But Tether continues to provide attestations. They're not audited by one of the most reputable financial companies out there. Again, one of the big four audit companies. So KPMG US, one of the big four accounting firms, audited Tether's international financial statements for the year ended in December 31st, 2025, and issued an unqualified opinion. Tether said, that means the accounting firm found the statements fairly presented Tether's financial position, results, and cash flows in all material respects under U.S. generally accepted accounting principles. The statements showed Tether's reserves exceeded liabilities by $6.814 billion by the end of 2025, Tether said. A KPMG US spokesperson confirmed that the firm issued an unqualified opinion on Tether's International's financial for 2025, but has no further comment due to the client confidentiality. CoinDesk has asked Tether whether it will share KPMG's findings and has yet to receive a response. But overall, this is good, guys. Again, a lot of people are out there still saying negative things, and I continue to see more from Tether. And they, of course, now have a U.S. setup with a U.S.-based stablecoin, and we'll see if they're able to get their original stablecoin in line with some of the new regulations. But the fact that, again, you have one of these big four firms confirming that they have everything in line, that's very, very good. All right, moving ahead, huge news out of Wall Street. Goldman Sachs leaps into Bitcoin income ETFs with 2.25 billion NEOs buyout. So, we've talked a lot about TradFi companies buying crypto companies, but also crypto companies buying TradFi as the industry and the asset class matures. So we're starting to see that more and more. So Goldman Sachs is acquiring NEO's Investments, the firm behind BTC1 or BTCI, a $1.1 billion Bitcoin synthetic exchange traded fund that yields roughly 27%, according to a senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg. The acquisition deal in cash and equity puts NEOs at a valuation of up to $2.25 billion, is subject to performance targets, and is expected to close during the first quarter of 2027, pending regulatory approval, Goldman Sachs said Wednesday. BTCI launched in October 2024 and has crossed $1 billion in assets in under 2 years, Eric Balchunas, a senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg, said. He also said it holds spot Bitcoin exchange traded products and sells call options against those positions to generate monthly distributions. It does not directly hold Bitcoin, and investors receive yield from the product but forfeit some of the upside when Bitcoin rallies, he said. Now, guys, look at what Goldman Sachs is doing. But to some people, crypto is a scam, it's all a Ponzi, a fad. And you're seeing the biggest institutions in the world, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, Fidelity, many others, going all in, building with the technology, acquiring companies, expanding their crypto services and investment products. So this is just another confirmation of where we're headed, right? And for these big firms, it's easier to just go acquire some of these companies. So they don't have to spend years of research and development and going through that building process, right? They can go get a proven product or company that has already shown that it can create a great product and that's generating income, and now they're going to go buy. So expect to see more and more of this, especially once the Clarity Act passes. You're going to see M&A skyrocket. Here's another example. Israel's largest bank to offer crypto trading with Galaxy. So Bank Leumi customers will be able to trade Bitcoin, Ether, and Solana through the bank's investment app from early 2027. Again, all the stock exchanges, all the banks, all the major financial firms are headed in the same direction. If you are feeling bearish and feeling like giving up, then your emotions are heavily focused on the price. Don't get me wrong, price is very important. I want the price to go higher, but you have to understand market cycles, what's happening, where we're at in the adoption cycle of these assets. So you got to look at the bigger picture. Don't miss the forest for the trees here. So again, if you're having those feelings, it means you're hyper focusing on the price. You have to look at the building that's happening, because all of this will bring in more capital and lead to higher prices. But you got to be patient. You got to have that macro view. So customers of the bank and its mobile banking unit, Pepper, will be able to buy, hold, and sell Bitcoin, Ether, and Solana through a section of their trade app, according to a Friday announcement. Galaxy Digital, which is Mike Novogratz's firm, will provide trading and services through Galaxy One Institutional, its platform for banks and asset managers. The bank has also signed an agreement to use Galaxy's custody infrastructure, formerly known as GK8, to support the offering. Huge news, guys. This is happening globally. You go to every major country and you're seeing their investment firms, their banks, their stock exchanges are all embracing crypto. Now, final news item. Apparently, Trump-backed Royal Liberty wins conditional bank charter from federal regulators. So the OCC has given a preliminary conditional approval. We're seeing a lot of crypto firms get these approvals now, which is why Jamie Dimon and some of these banksters don't like that, right? They have competition now. But I don't like the timing of this. Could this be used to block the Clarity Act? You know, Elizabeth Warren is going to use it. So I wish Trump and his crypto activities would slow down and let us get this Clarity Act done. And then based on the updated regulations, go ahead and, do your thing. I've said I don't have necessarily a problem with this if his kids are handling it. I don't like the meme coin. That's a really bad thing. The first lady had one as well. And this is a horrible look. And I hope that this right here and plus other things is not going to continue to be used as ammo against him. And Elizabeth Warren's going to use this. So I wish Trump would slow the hell down with this stuff, man. Let's get the Clarity Act done. and then then you can look at what you want to do after that, right? But let's see, guys. Hopefully there's nothing else Trump related with crypto as far as his businesses coming up before we get this Clarity Act done. Anyway, folks, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't as yet. Be sure to support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. Grab a copy. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. Right now, we got a 50% off the price sale going on. You can use the code BEAR, BEAR, at checkout to get that 50% off. So check it out. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.